Hello, marhaba. Thank you for joining the podcast by Chalhoub Group. My name is Lina Al-Khatib, the VP of Communication, and I'm your host. It's an absolute honor to have with us Tory Burch herself in this podcast. Someone who built a brand from humble beginnings in New York to today a global luxury powerhouse that is built on foundations of women empowerment, championing purpose-driven leadership. Her legacy is not just about women empowerment. Of course, it's her iconic collections and designs that today are all over the world in almost 400 stores, I want to say, if my numbers are accurate. But this is not what she stands for. Purpose-driven leadership remains at the heart. And today we are at Dubai Mall store, the first Tory Burch store that opened in the Middle East region as an own store from 2011. This is not just a symbol of her global reach, it's also the belief in the potential of the region, where today we have almost 24 stores between online e-retailers and the brick-and-mortar stores. It is a pleasure to have you, Tory, with us. Thank you so much, and thank the whole team for making it happen today.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. So happy. Last time, I think it was 2020.
Wow. Have you seen a lot of changes in the region?
Gosh, certainly since 2011. There's so many incredible changes, and even since 2020. I just got here last night, and I'm so excited to take it all in.
We're excited to have you for the next few days and to share all the experiences we can with you. I want to start talking about your brand and your purpose, because we believe in purpose. It's at the heart of everything we do, and I think we share this as well. You believe in women empowerment. I've heard other conversations that you had that you were told that you can't start philanthropy and business together. And I think you proved them wrong. Tell me how women empowerment still drives Tory Burch in 2025.
Yeah, from the very first concept of when I wanted to start a company, I thought the idea of doing good is good for business. And I thought, how do we combine purpose and business? And back then, that was 20 years ago. So that was kind of a novel idea. So I was told very concretely never to say that together. And, it just drove me forward even more. I think we started the company in 2004 and the foundation in 2009. And it's so wonderful to see the changes here that you all are embracing that I think you always have as well.
Of course.
And I think that to have an extraordinary business, but have deeper meaning behind each product of what it goes towards and what it means is very important for the customer, for the people that work for us, and for our partners.
For sure. And I think this is what drives our long-term partnership is shared values, beliefs, and of course, a love for luxury. So how does authenticity still drive your value-driven leadership and the brand's customer engagement?
Well, I think it has to be authentic. And I think that you have to pick something that you deeply care about. And I deeply care about women. And I think when women succeed, we all succeed. And certainly when you have a company where we make products for women, you want to make them feel confident, beautiful, and strong. And I think that that's something that really resonates in the Middle East and certainly in Dubai.
Of course. And I know that now we have stores around the region, the whole Middle East region, and soon in some countries. Can you tell us something about new stores coming in the region?
I'm very excited with the businesses you guys have, and we're going to be opening in Doha, which will be very exciting, in Bahrain. So there's so many wonderful things coming on the horizon.
Tory, I was very happy yesterday that I kind of almost crashed a business review meeting when I was presenting the group to your team, but was very inspired by how the brand started and how you always wanted to be global. I would like to hear a bit about that, but more on how you personalize for, let's say, Middle Eastern women, but I know you're also in Asia and other countries. So how do you balance your brand identity, the international aspect, and then curating for local?
Yeah, listen, I think what's interesting, the bestsellers are the bestsellers everywhere, and they're the same. And that's kind of fascinating. When I started the company, one of the first things that I was inspired by was my father's Moroccan kaftan. And so that was kind of interesting. So I've always been inspired by many different places around the world, and certainly places in the Middle East. So in a way, there's always a bit of our collection that resonates here. And I think something that I talk a lot about is we design a collection, we work on it for a year, and then once we put it out there, it's not our collection anymore. It becomes the customer that really makes it their own. And I find that so fascinating. So when I think about this territory and this region, there's certain things that do beautifully here, whether it's our pajama set or some of our caftans or what you're wearing. It looks amazing on you. And
very empowering.
I think it's how you interpret it. Certainly when I think of Ramadan, I think of certain colors that I find beautiful. And this season we did a lot around sort of gold and silver, and then a gray, and these soft colors that reminded me of the sunset. And so there are certain things that you can think about and that will resonate here. But I think it's interesting to have things that resonate here that are very much part of our collection anyway.
I love that. And I think that's part of the uniqueness as well of working closely with the regional teams, and your zones know the customers very deeply.
Right. And I was just looking at how you want to have even more jewelry here, and that's really exciting, and expand our footwear. So when I think about all the potential, there's so many exciting things we can do.
Certainly, jewelry is doing super well, of course. And what we keep saying with jewelry, it's more is more. And we say it with fashion too. More is more. So layering and the regional customers are.
And I think what you said about quality and craftsmanship, that's something that I'm so thrilled that I'm fanatical about. And so ever since I gave up being the CEO and now Pierre-Yves is running our business, it allows me to focus 100% of my time on the creative process.
Amazing. I want to hear a bit more about that, because the next section we would like to talk a bit more about storytelling. But storytelling can only be when you imagine your collection. And you were among the early adopters of e-commerce. So tech has been part of your DNA. So how do you create and then tell the story and run the business at the same time?
Well, I think I have an extraordinary team to help me do that. But I have been early. I've always been fascinated with technology. So when I started, I opened our business in 2004, people told me no one would ever buy online. And I launched with a website. So I think that, there's so many different things that along the way, whether it was Instagram or TikTok, and we were early adopters. And I just found it another way to storytell and reach customers. And certainly AI is what's happening now. So time will tell where that goes.
And how do you believe you will leverage this technology with your brand? Maybe, yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I remember bringing a bunch of things that I worked on with AI into a design meeting, and our designers were terrified. And the way I look at it is it's a pretty exceptional tool to help the design process. I don't think it replaces the creativity. And right now, AI is pulling from everything in the world. So it's not creating things. And I think that said, it's all about the prompts. So if you put in very esoteric prompts and twist it, there's ways of really making it pretty amazing. So we're just in the experimental phase, and I think everyone is at the moment.
We were doing a little brainstorming session for my team in our one studio, we call it. So it's the place where we do all the shoots for the brands to support e-com. And they were showing us some of the techniques they use. And the beauty of it is the hybrid approach to it. So what you really can do much more with what you have than before, but it does not lose the human touch. It doesn't lose the
need the human touch
100% and the creativity to put it together. It's
and if you don't have that, you can tell there's an AI hand, and it looks like AI. So the point is that I think it will get better, but you still want to have that creativity.
Yeah. I mean, as your retail partner, we have to talk about retail evolution. And we covered, e-com, AI. I would like to know more about not just the tech behind the brand, but more about your customer, that woman you're empowering as a women-only brand. Tell me a bit more about who you delight.
Well, I mean, I think one thing that's really interesting about our company is that it's all kinds of women and all ages. And we have a very young customer here. It's 18 to 21 is the starting point. And I
Okay.
think that's wonderful. I think the one thing about women today is they want less of everything and everything with more integrity. And they want to
Okay.
buy things that they want to keep. And they obviously want it to be relevant for what's happening, but they want to have something with longevity. And so our customer here is also very entrepreneurial. They're
That's
starting
true.
businesses, and that's really exciting. So when I hear that our collections make women feel confident and strong and powerful, that's a big compliment.
That's beautiful. When we talk about a brand as brand builders and communicators, we talk about the multi-sensorial experience, the five senses. And we're at a beautiful store. We already feel immersed. It's super inviting. How do you approach your multi-sensory experience for your customers?
Well, even from the very first store, I wanted it to be a place where you could go and spend time. And, whether it was a father shopping with his daughter, a boyfriend, a husband, children, I wanted it to be inviting but luxurious. And so I definitely am a tactile person. So even the
Yeah,
materials that we use
yeah.
and the colors, I wanted it to be a bit calming and not fight your eye. And so I really appreciate that when you say that. I wanted the experience to really add to someone's day and where they could also just hang out. So you could spend the afternoon.
Yeah. Well, I can see that your brand is expanding in fashion. We talked about jewelry. How do you see your collections moving forward? More ready to wear, more footwear?
Well, more is more.
More is more, actually. Yeah, that's the theme of
So
the
I
season.
think, I do think, as I've grown with this company, my confidence has grown and my technical expertise has grown. And so I'm really interested in every product that we put out there to have the quality and the integrity of design that it needs. And so I'm constantly evolving things and pushing it and looking for the most exceptional leathers, looking for things that make your body feel very fit and energized. I really think about a woman's body, how she feels, emotion. So it all is part of it. I think as a woman designing for women, I'm lucky to be able to feel what a lot of women are feeling.
Thank you. That's very inspiring. And I was so happy to see how tailored the approach is, even to the Middle East region, where each country has different type of women, different passions,
Yeah.
and different approach to the same brand. So I love that it's quite personalized and yeah, personal.
Well, and I think people want joy right now. And
Yeah,
that's something that
exactly.
I'm really interested in. When things are complex in the world, it's good to be able to escape and dream.
Yeah. So let's talk about dreams. Your foundation. It helps, as I saw it, and from what I heard when I was, researching you more and the impact you create, I think it really helps women dream because it's economic empowerment. Tell me more about the empowerment notion that's evolving, the impact of your foundation, and how you see the future for it.
Well, when we first started the foundation in 2009, it was about what I said was women's empowerment. And we wanted to help women feel empowered. But the thing that I've learned throughout the years is that women have the power. And they need to access the power. They need to believe in themselves and find the confidence that they need to fulfill their dreams. And so when you talk about economic independence and entrepreneurship, that's something that is very inspiring. And that's
Yeah.
where we are today, is we've built a community and we want our community to be even bigger and to expand and have women help other women. And whether it's the peer-to-peer mentoring, whether it's utilizing each other's businesses. But a very important part of our foundation is to make sure that men are part of the conversation around women and that they're our allies.
That's very important, I think. And I love that notion that women have the power. They just want to access it. That's really beautiful because there's been a lot of controversy about this topic. Like, we don't need empowerment. What does that really mean? And it's like, I'm trying to get permission for this. But I feel access and economic empowerment is still very important.
I think if you think about entrepreneurship and economic independence, and that's where it is. And I think that if women succeed, we all succeed. And that means men, families, everyone.
That's so true. And we have a very similar program under our greenhouse, which is our incubator. We also support startups in the region and businesses. We work closely with the Saudi fashion brands. Most of them are women designers who are now also very hungry and eager to get mentorship, to get support. So I'm sure that this will resonate in the future. What is the future for your foundation?
Well, I think it's we've proven that we can do the work and that there's an appetite for it globally. So I would like to build the foundation even bigger.
That's great. So if we had our audience from those entrepreneurs and women founders, what advice would you give them?
Well, I would say negativity is noise. Buckle up. That's what my parents used to say to me. And just know that, as tough as things get, because when you start a business, things are tough, no matter what. You see so many things coming at you, but you wait, go to sleep, and the next day is a whole new day.
That's nice. I think in our region, we need to hear that more often to ensure that we're...
I always say you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
That's amazing. And especially as a woman and a mom, and you were CEO and now you're focusing more on the creative, that's very inspiring to see, like, okay, I think now my problems feel much smaller than that. So I think that we want to... have so much more time with you, but I know that the team is like, the clock is ticking. So I know that in general, your advice to women, but also I would like to know what you advise the next generation, not just for entrepreneurs, but also from a fashion perspective. Everyone, and I know from my sons, right? You go in the mall, they're with their friends, they all look the same, they have the same haircut, they have the same style. So whether it's fashion lovers or the next generation, what's your advice and observation?
I think my mother always has this expression, which kind of still resonates. She said, don't out chic yourself. And that's kind of a very interesting thing, because you can, find who you are, basically. Find your individuality. Don't let people put you in a box, because you can write your own story.
That's beautiful. Don't over chic yourself.
Yeah, don't out chic yourself.
Out chic yourself. You hear that? Don't out chic yourself. So if your brand could say one thing to the world in 2025, what would it be?
Well, to the world, I would say joy, peace, and love.
That's so beautiful. Would you like to add anything? What would we expect from your new collection? What colors are you exploring for, the next season?
Oh, gosh. Well, we're working actually, because what I just said, I do feel like joy is important right now. So we're playing with a lot of color for next season.
So we're
all
not
different colors, from like mustard to coral to a deep blue and olive.
That's beautiful. We can't wait to have your collection here as well in the Middle East region. Thank you so much for being with us. I know your schedule is packed. We look forward to having you here in the next few days. And
thank you to you and Chalhoub for being such amazing partners. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tory. Thank you, everyone, for watching, for listening. As usual, please send us your feedback. Stay tuned. And thanks for listening. Bye.